So we get back underway with the final stages of the eventual conclusion of race weekend 1 for the 2019 BNL Karting Series season. It's time for the final race for our Micro Max category. 16 drivers now getting into preparation for their final race. This time a little bit longer, 13 minutes plus 1 additional lap to go. The red lights will be ignited on the starting gantry as the drivers make their way through. Grid is as follows. Tommy van der Stroy's Mr. Domination this weekend is on the front row. Alongside will be Thomas Strauven in the number 9. Max Sadursky in the number 19 will be alongside Dries van Langendonk in the number 15 on row number 2. Casper Schormans and Olivier Jonkers in 40 and 16 round out the third row ahead of the 46 of Aran Ferezano, number 99 of Mateo Radenkovic, the number 3 of Karel Stout, the number 22 of Henri Verlou, who completes the top 10. And rounding out the 16 strong from Belgium, it's the number 26 of Tom van Langendonk, the number 29 of Holland's Mick van den Berg. Also his countryman Kaz Tobben will be in 13th, the number 21. Orion van Wijs from Belgium in the number 2 will be 14th, ahead of Jake Menton in the 31, and Tom Pappenberg in the 48. That's your 16 strong, who are now on their formation lap, ahead of 13 minutes, plus 1 additional lap of racing here. The red lights are now on the starting gantry. We're ready to get the action underway for the final time for Micro Max. It's been a pleasure seeing them compete once again. And hopefully we'll have a few of those competitors heading back here in around 3 weeks' time to the home of champions for the Euro Trophy Open, which starts on April 19th and concludes on April 21st back here at the home of champions. So Micro and Minimax will have 2 opportunities per category. So the winners and the runners-up of the race weekend at the end of the results will go to Le Mans in August, the Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy at the Circuit Alain Prost. So they get into the final stage. The drivers now heading around the final corner here at this 1,300 meter circuit at Karting Genk. Always a great challenge for all the drivers, irrespective of age, category, and chassis and engine power as they go into the tram lines. Do we go green? Yes, we do. Tommy van der Stroy gets the whole shot heading down into turn 1. Sadursky slots into second behind, and I think maybe one of the Van Langendonks is there as well. Jonker's trying to get a bit racy. Well, he's up into, I think, 4th position. So Dries van Langendonk, I think, could be in 4th, maybe followed by Olivier Jonkers, who's just lost out, and that might be Casper Schormans going up the inside. And behind them is Aran Ferezano in the 46 as the drivers stream their way down to turn number 7 for the first time of asking. And Sadursky and Strauven, I think, are now bolting onto the back of Tommy van der Stroy, who now will have a lot of work to do. It seems like Sadursky and Strauven have got the bit between the teeth and want to take one away. Strauven neatly goes up the inside of Max Sadursky for 2nd position into turn number 10. As van der Stroy gets a little bit of an initial gap coming through turn 12. Behind them, there's a swarm of 4 karts with Casper Schormans up into 5th position. Might be threatening alongside, maybe has even gotten past one of the GKS drivers. Looks to possibly be Olivier Jonkers, as Max Sadursky is still fending off and has got past Thomas Strauven for position there. Nearly 2 abreast going through into turn 5. A change for 5th has now happened between the 2 GKS drivers. Henri Verlou up into 9th. Tom van Langendonk now completes the top 10 as Tommy van der Stroy continues to try and pull away in this early phase. 11 minutes and 20 on the clock plus an additional lap to go in the last Micro Max final of the weekend. So van der Stroy leads from Sadursky, Strauven in 3rd, Schormans in 4th. And behind them, it is the number 15 of Dries van Langendonk, who's got Olivier Jonkers behind, as Strauven's trying to close back up on the back of Max Sadursky. Aran Ferezano is behind Dries van Langendonk and Olivier Jonkers in terms of the positioning. So Ferezano is ahead of Mateo Radenkovic, who's currently in the 99 in 8th position at the minute. Sadursky being hustled now by Thomas Strauven as the pair go through into turn 5. Strauven can't quite make it happen going through turn 6 to facilitate an overtake, but is bump drafting on the back of Swiderski heading into turn 7, which is also another great prime overtaking opportunity here at Karting Genk. So running order at the moment with 10 minutes and 14 on the clock remaining plus an additional lap as Swiderski comes under fire yet again from Thomas Strauven for second. Van der Stroys, Swiderski, Strauven, Schurmans, Dries van Langendonk, Jonkers, Ferrazano, Redenkovic, Velu, Stout, Tom van Langendonk in 11th place ahead of Mick Vandenberg. Horian van Wijs up to 13th, Kaz Tobben up into 14th ahead of Tom Pappenberg, whilst Jake Menton languishes at the bottom of the field. As Strauven still putting the feelers out on Swiderski as they go into turn 3. Swiderski cuts him off. Nice and cleanly there as Schurmans has got Olivier Jonkers for company for 4th. And they've dropped in the process Aaron Ferrazano, who now has Matej Radenkovic, Henri Velu and Karel Stout closing. As the 3 leaders now make their way through turn number 8. So there's still quite a lot of time in this race still to go. So Strauven can still facilitate multiple tacks if required on Max Swiderski, who's holding station at the moment quite firmly in 2nd place. Kasper Schurmans is having to fend off Olivier Jonkers a little bit further down. There's a nice little skirmish between Tom van Langendonk and Karel Stout for what is 10th position. So Strauven still trying to force the issue with Swiderski. The gap seems to have closed a little bit, I think. And would you believe it, Swiderski and Strauven set exactly the same lap time last time around. Strauven was trying to think of going up the inside of turn 4. Can't do that. Had to slot in behind at turn 5. They now go down turn 6 and down the back straight. And they have, well, 4th and 5th, which is Schurmans and Jonkers have gone past an SUV that's just been going across adjacent to the back straight just there. So if you had speed cameras, these youngsters would definitely be breaking the speed limits when they're hitting over 100 kph going down the back straight and along the start-finish line as well. Van der Stroys is still in prime position to keep this run going. So Strauven still fending off, trying to get past Swiderski. Could I have a paddock announcement? Paddock announcement 217. 217. Okay, driver. 217. Can you please report to the stewards immediately? That's driver number 217. Okay, category to the stewards immediately, please. Thank you. Meanwhile, we're fast approaching the half-time distance here in the Micro Max last final of the weekend. Max Swiderski has a little bit of clean air between himself and Thomas Strauven, who starts to claw back that gap going into turn 10. So the Belgian trying to make sure it's not a Dutch 1-2 in this last final of the day as they go through into the final corner, turn number 12. And then put the hammer down and turn it in nice and neatly and composed. As Jonkers still battling away with Schurmans for 4th place. Strauven not close enough to Swiderski, but nearly goes side by side towards the outside line of turn 3 as the pair close up on Tommy van der Stroys. The gap now down to the leader between Swiderski and van der Stroys, who continues his assertion on this race, is now down to just over 0.4 of a second. And now Strauven gets the head down. Swiderski has got him in his tow as they start making their way through turn 8. Tommy van der Stroys is just keeping his eyes put forward. He's concentrating on his own race rather than trying to worry about the two behind him. Gets his head down, puts down the throttle, turns in nicely into turn number 10. Nearly a little bit of opposite lock there for Thomas Strauven going through turn 10, trying to get past as much as he dare on Max Swiderski. So as they come around the final corner, here we go. Strauven is going to go for the inside. Has to slot behind as Swiderski clearly has the legs going into turn number 2. So Swiderski takes a little bit more of a defensive line through turn 2 into turn 3. This is very much respective of what's happening behind the pair in 4th and 5th, with Olivier Jonkers trying as he might to get past Casper Schormans in the number 40. That's the battle for 4th position. 5 minutes and 15 on the clock remaining. Van der Stroy's sides his way through turn 7 into the sweeping right-hander at turn number 8. Still a lot of time. 5 minutes to go, plus 1 additional lap. As Strauven nearly goes side by side towards the outside line going into turn 10. A little bit of, looks like there was a little bit of oversteer from the back end of Casper Schormans' kart. As Swiderski fending off, or trying to fend off. No, Thomas Strauven has made the run on him. Could I ask that number 136, OK Junior, report to the stewards immediately, please. That's number 136, OK Junior, to the stewards, please. Thank you. And Swiderski, as I say that, has just gone back past Thomas Strauven. So Strauven had the legs on him coming out of the final corner, retook 2nd place, and Swiderski retaliated with a counter of his own going through turn number 2. Meanwhile, the gap between the two squabbling over 2nd, Tommy van der Stroy has now a concisive 1 second gap between himself and Max Swiderski. No real possible changes, as Strauven might have the inside run going into turn 10 on Swiderski, and he takes it cleanly and convincingly there, does the number 9 from Belgium. As Jonkers is on the back bumper of Schormans coming through the final corner. .377 seconds between 1st and 2nd at the moment. So the funny thing is that whilst Strauven and Swiderski battling tooth and nail for 2nd, they are letting Casper Schormans and Olivier Jonkers close up on them, because the two behind have closed up by the tune of about 4/10 on that last lap around. So it's fast going to become not just a 2-way fight for 2nd position, it could be a 4-way scrap as we go into the last 3 minutes of this race, plus 1 additional lap here at Karting Genk. Van der Stroy on course for a clean sweep. Strauven still trying to muscle his way past Swiderski. Schormans on the last tour was about 8/10 behind Thomas Strauven. That gap has been decimated on that time around. He's pulled away from Olivier Jonkers. The gap now between 3rd and 4th is 0.4. That's been halved on 1 lap alone. And the fastest lap has gone to Casper Schormans, a 1 minute 2.208. Olivier Jonkers did a 1 minute 2.35, whereas Strauven and Swiderski did a 1 minute 2.566. And as I say that, Thomas Strauven gets back past Swiderski. Schormans clearly in the mix. Swiderski responds past Strauven through turn 7. Schormans now finding some sort of momentum here and goes cleanly past. Is he going to do 2 in 1? No, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. He had the run on Strauven going through turn 8. And was hung out to dry, trying to go back, also go past Max Swiderski in the process. Had to bail out past Swiderski, and that put him back behind them. And there we go. Strauven's losing out 2 places now. He's dropped from 3rd to 5th as both Casper Schormans and Olivier Jonkers get past. And Schormans going for 2nd. Has he got it? Yes, he has. As a little bit of frustration there. Oh my goodness! Talk about splitting the pack. Max Swiderski was very lucky there, because Strauven went up the inside. Jonkers went round the outside going into turn 4. Swiderski held on for 4th place, but could he not do so now, because we go into the last 60 seconds plus an additional lap? Because now he's got to fend off Olivier Jonkers. He's now got the choice of whether he has to attack or defend. Schormans, in the meantime, is getting away from those 3 behind him. He's put in the fastest lap of anybody this race, a 1 minute 2.208. Tommy van der Stroy hasn't had the need to do that. in any ways. He comes around the final corner with about 35 seconds on the clock remaining. So Van der Stroy's gap to Casper Shermans, who's now in second position, is 3 seconds. That squabbling has allowed the number 54 in the Paralin chassis from the Netherlands to clearly get away. This is going to be easy pickings from Van der Stroy's. Shermans has made more than just a meal of it. I think he's had a whole banquet in this finale because he's up into second now. Thomas Strauven in third, Max Swiderski in fourth. Olivier Jonkers has got Aaron Ferrazzano for company now in the battle for fifth, but this is the penultimate lap of this race. As Swiderski trying to mount a last-moment offensive on Thomas Strauven for third in this. As Strauven still keeping in touch with Casper Shermans. So the battle for second, I don't think is over yet. The battle for fifth at the minute, though, as Aaron Ferrazzano closes up on Olivier Jonkers is now on the final lap. As Strauven is going to try and force the issue with Casper Shermans. Can't get it done in turn two, or does he? Yes! Nice clean move. Goes defensive coming out of turn two. Swiderski springs a surprise on Shermans. Up the inside on turns 3 and 4 and makes the move sick into third position. Shermans, however, back on the offensive, retakes third place back from Max Swiderski through turn 6 as Aaron Ferrazzano and Olivier Jonkers are side by side pretty much heading into turn 7 with Ferrazzano now getting the advantage and taking fifth. Van der Stroy's in the meantime coming through turn 9. The exit of it, heading down the straight towards turn 10 for the final time. So he's got 2 corners to go. Meanwhile, it's a scramble to the finish between second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. As Jonkers is trying to force the issue with Ferrazzano. This is going to be interesting to watch as the checkered flag will be prepared and it will wave for Mr. Domination, Tommy Van der Stroy, who punches the air emphatically. Max Swiderski could get third on the line ahead of Casper Shermans, and he does. And Thomas Strauven also punches the air. So what a weekend for Holland's number 54, Tommy Van der Stroy. Delighted with a clean sweep of the house. If you were playing any sort of card game like blackjack, if he's done it, he's cleared the house very well and truly. Thomas Strauven finished in second position, 4.667 seconds behind Max Swiderski. Casper Shermans was up into second, but it was not enough. He ended up fourth in the end, ahead of Aaron Ferrazzano, who completed the top 5. The rest of the field is as follows. Olivier Jonkers did his very best to try and stay in either 4th, 5th, but he ended up with 6th at the end of it all. Dries van Langendonk and Matej Radenkovic ran out the top 8. Karel Stout and Tom van Langendonk complete the top 10, ahead of Henri Verloux, Mick van den Berg, Kaz Tobben, Orion van Bijs, and Tom Pappenberg and Jake Menton. So that concludes the action for the Micromax category here at the first round of the 2019 BNL Karting Series season.